What else there?
Waiting for the live stream to start, Stanley.
Okay.
I'll give you the high sign. Should be good to go, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
I'll just,
Well said, there. Green.
yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Newington Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of June 10th, 2026 to order. Please rise and pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Noreen, could we do the roll call, please?
He is online.
Present.
Commissioner Fox,
Here.
Commissioner Murphy,
Here.
Commissioner Meyer,
Here.
Commissioner Pascarelli,
Here.
Commissioner Sobieski,
Here.
Commissioner Woods,
Here.
Commissioner Rice Davis,
She's also on. There we go.
Commissioner Gill,
Here.
and Commissioner Morrell. You're all set.
We're all set. Thank you.
Yep.
Approval of the agenda, Paul?
Changes?
First round of public participation for items not listed on the agenda. And wish to speak, please come up, state your name and address for the record.
Evening, everybody. Bill McCarthy, 206 Churchill Drive. Haven't been here in a while, but at last night's council meeting, they talked about the importance of participating in the different committees. What? Test. Participating. I had talked about that in the past, the importance of attending the TPZ, the conservation, town council, any other committees that need to be participated in. Enough of that. The things that I wrote down besides participating, I see the Kits Lane property every day. When I go over to Aldi's, I see what they haven't been doing. The construction company next to Kits Lane has started building a fence of some sort, which I think was a wonderful idea. I don't think that was in the original proposal, but it's almost 300 feet long at least that they've put on the border. I think that's great. So I just wondered if anybody knew what's going on with Kits Lane, since the only thing that's happened so far is a couple of telephone poles got put in. Lewis Street, the for sale sign is still up there. I thought that was already a done deal and that it was progressing, that was approved and stuff like that. And
You're
then,
talking, Pat Snowser, lot at the corner of Pasco and Lewis?
I believe he is, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, 103.
Okay.
And then the town manager talked about last night that we had gotten a grant for the sidewalk along Cedar Road to connect from that little stretch of road from that wasn't covered in the state financing. So they've extended that grant so that we're going to get a little bit more sidewalk in there, which is really good. So that's it. And again, that's why it came up at last night's meeting, was people were concerned about the $2 million that was granted for downtown development. And a lot of people were confusing what that $2 million was for. They were saying this is for high-rise buildings and stuff like that. And I just want, we tried to continue with the conversation by telling them that they should come to the TBZ meeting to talk about that. But I think they were confusing the Keeney property development with the Market Square improvement development. So that's another thing. So everything's good. You guys got a late agenda today, so I said, oh, I might as well come down. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Bill. Paul, did you want to give an update on Kits Lane?
Oh, so we actually, we're waiting for the final plans on Kits Lane, the final Mylars. Other than that, there has been, no activity on site. The town engineer has reached out to them about, progressing forward or cleaning up the site because it does have a wetlands permit as well.
Okay.
But other than that, there has been no new activity.
And the final thing, would you please explain what the $2 million is for? I mean, we're not building high rises, we're
Yep.
not
So
buying property.
the $2 million is a state bond, where it basically has been granted to the town of Newington. This is through the efforts of the town manager, council leadership, and our state delegation, moving forward and getting this bond from the state. So what this is to support what came out of the town center master plan, and this is for the public improvements. Now, it's not to say exactly, it isn't, this is exactly for this, exactly for that. It is from that plan, that is what it's meant to support. But the group will get back together, the steering committee, which again includes the heads of this commission, EDC, council leadership, the senior center, the Chamber of Commerce. It includes a lot of people within the town to have input on what is going to be important to the center and what are the priority areas where this money should be spent. Again, it's a great return on investment for the plan being done. And I appreciate everyone's assistance and actually the community coming out and getting this plan done, because without it, this was not able, we weren't able to progress this. And it's because of the community's efforts that we were able to get the $2 million grant for the town center. But again, nothing is in stone what it is exactly for. There will be a process that moves forward. And I'm assuming, it will be a very public process going through. And again, talking with even the businesses in the town center, like we did through the study as well. Again, this is everyone's town center, so we all have a stake in it.
All right, thank you, Paul. Anyone else wishing to come up? You state your name and address for the record.
Jacob Knowlton, 10 Hillside Street. Real quick with my Krog hat on. I just wanted to give an update that my department, at least the RP&D department, is closing out most of our studies. So our warehousing is closing. A few other ones are closing out. So if there's any interest and need for land use specific studies, keep an eye out for that. Feel free to reach out if anything comes to mind. The other thing as well is I'm pretty sure the transportation department is wrapping up a few of their corridor studies. So that solicitation will be coming out as well. One that comes to mind, if you want to study Cedar Street and traffic demand on there, that could be huge, especially since it connects to New Britain and Weathersfield. And probably you see West Hartford traffic as well. So taking that off, I just wanted to reiterate my excitement for that. The Keeney property development, I know it's not an official proposal, but I know I'm anticipating some poo-pooing from the public on that. So I don't want that to be everything you guys hear. I think it's a fantastic proposal. And unlike other developments we've seen in town, that one would be based in actual planning and putting it where it would help businesses and put people where they don't need to use their car every single hour of the day to get everywhere. We'd get some good pedestrian traffic for our businesses in the center of town. The one thing I wanted to point out though, that came to mind while looking at those designs, is I know there were some concerns about a certain design aspects around the brick side of the development, but I would pay attention as well as the three buildings that were kind of towards the back of the property. It seems like a very similar facade and just like three big masses. And so what I would recommend is just taking a look and maybe having a conversation if that could be broken up a little bit so that you're not just getting kind of vinyl siding or some kind of siding that's consistent wrapping around the entirety of your corner. That's not really too pleasant or a good walking experience for pedestrians, especially if you're looking to also infill the property across from it with, I believe there's a pickleball court in that property currently. So that's just my thoughts, is if you have some design critiques, pay attention to those three buildings as well. And make sure that maybe bay windows or some kind of detail is added so it breaks up the facade a little and creates a little bit of interest in between the streetscape and the building itself. But thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Yes, you have someone online. Go ahead, Rose.
Hi, Rose Lyons, 46 Elton Drive. I was just wondering, I was going to check the judicial website, but when Eric is giving the report, is there an update on Maple Hill that he could maybe share with us? People have been asking on Facebook, and I am curious myself. I've been watching this process for almost 10 years now. I was one of the ones that was asking about the monies being spent and who was going to decide where they were spent. I don't recall anybody thinking they were going to the high rise, but maybe I wasn't listening at the time. This steering committee, from what I remember, it's not set up by the town council. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I got the feeling last night that the steering committee is going to make suggestions to the town council, and that the town council will have the final say in where the monies are spent. This is just kind of an oddball for me. I've participated in a lot of building projects or gone to meetings where they've discussed the projects and there was public participation and so forth, but this is a little bit different. I'm glad to see that we got it. I'm hoping to see that New Britain Avenue and Maple Hill and Stoddard and Hartford Avenue get done as well. I know they're different grant monies, but things need to get finished up around here before we start new, is my opinion. But when the public hearings are held on the changes that you are proposing, I hope that people that are so vocal at the town council meetings and on Facebook show up. I'm assuming that people like myself will get notices, and I already have, of next week's public hearing. But there's a lot of people that don't sign up for the notices. I know that it gets published, I believe, in the Rare Reminder and things like that. There has to be some kind of blast go out, in my opinion, so that no one can say, oh, I didn't know. In any case, thank you. Anything you can share, I appreciate. Have a good night. Get out of there early. It's hot. Stay cool. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ms. Lyons. Paul, can you give Rose an update of where we are on Maple Avenue right now?
So actually, I'll let Eric speak to Maple Ave. I'll actually, if you want, I can talk about the two streetscape projects, Hartford and Stoddard. We have submitted additional plans to the DOT. They've done their landscaping review, and then we're going to be within working on rights of ways and going through that process. And again, for the New Britain Avenue, again, Hartford and Stoddard is a DOT. New Britain Avenue is a DECD grant. The grant basically has been, all of the paperwork has been submitted them to finalize it. We've had meetings with the district, with the people within the business district, and kind of worked on the final plan for that. And then that will go through the final DECD approval process. And again, we would be hoping to get started on these next year, and actually construction season. Hoping to. Again, I don't want to speak for the town engineer, but that's our plan.
We will have public hearings on that.
Yeah, I think a public information session on those. Yep.
Yes, I said. Thank you. Hope that answers Ms. Lyons' question. Any other questions? Any other comments?
Nobody else
online?
nobody else has their hand raised, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Zoning officers report. You have the zoning officers report. Are there any questions?
I have a quick one, Mr. Chair.
Sure. Go ahead, Commissioner Harper.
Looking at the report, I think there are like 8 different people, I guess, or groups, whoever had these vehicles that are now unregistered. And I wonder if you have noticed a tick up in unregistered vehicles for whatever reason.
So typically, I don't all I can do is I can just run a plate like you can through the DMV website. And it just tells you if the plate is registered, doesn't tell you to whom or what. So if I get a complaint from somebody that believes that a car is not registered, I run the plate. So I don't go looking for them. I don't have time. But we've gotten a lot of complaints, more complaints recently.
Yeah, that's really my question.
Yeah, about that type of thing, and specifically as we typically see parking on the lawn. get a lot of complaints about that as well.
Yeah,
That's-
we're in the very active season for complaints. Right now, they do tick up, especially when the weather gets warm, more people are out walking their neighborhoods, they're just outside more. I know that Eric, Charlie, and I all have been, speaking with people at the counter through the last month was, people coming in, lots of questions.
I can tell you,
So we can't determine whether those cars are being sold from those areas without our knowledge. Somebody's running a track business. Or if there's some other reason. The other reason I mention that is because I had run into a friend of mine that works for one of the large insurance companies, and he said they have seen this noted in Newington. And that they still require some sort of partial insurance on those vehicles, even if the plates come off. Just can't leave it.
right, and that's the other thing that triggers a not registered, there's no plates on the car. I
Yeah.
assume it's non-registered and I asked the homeowner to provide or property owner to provide proof of insurance. I think I've
Okay,
had one do
You
that.
answered the question, I was just curious.
Yeah. As far as the Maple Hill case, just so we're all aware, I have two court cases that are active. Another one is on Stam Road for basically the same thing, a lot of vehicles. That gentleman, we just had a hearing on Monday. He's basically cleaned up the exterior of the property. It only took 6 years. Now we still have to deal with the interior of that building as well because it is also full of vehicles. So our attorney is working with their attorney to set up an inspection for the interior, and he's supposed to be continually removing vehicles and auto parts from there. As far as Maple Hill Avenue goes, we did get an order from the judge. It was appealed to the appellate court by the property owner. That appeal was denied at the appellate court level a few weeks ago. Soon after that, Paul and I did go out to both properties and inspect and record VIN numbers and whatever plates we could on vehicles at both properties. I compiled that list and I have to fill out a form for each one of those to send to DMV for them to verify registration of the vehicle. So those were sent off about 2 weeks ago. I do expect it back. They're typically 2 to 3 weeks before I get it back. When I get those back, I'll compile the data and we will discuss with our attorney about action going forward.
And that also includes Francis Avenue?
Yes, both properties are on the case, same case.
All right, thank you, Eric. Any other questions?
Just one, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Woods.
Just curiosity, what's the allowable number of boats to be stored in the yard? It says excess number of boats. What's
So
more than one?
So in this particular case, that is a condominium, that property,
Oh, yeah.
and by the regulation. So they're supposed to provide proper screening, proper parking spaces, and it has to get approved by you, the planning commission, as to the location on condominium property. So
Makes more sense
that's
now.
the issue on that particular one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Any other questions? Thank you. Very concise report.
No problem.
Thank you. Remarks by commissioners. Any remarks by any commissioners?
Just on the grant
Commissioner
for
Harvey.
the sidewalk extensions, I remember the state, I think it was a council meeting or a TPZ, I can't recall, it was more than a year ago. State had come down and discussed taking and extending sidewalks on Cedar, but that it was gonna be our responsibility to police it in terms of snow shovel responsibilities, any accidents up there. But I'll tell you, you don't have to be a genius to know that that's gonna be a tight fit for people. If the sidewalk extends out over that bridge, or even the bus has a problem stopping to pick people up. I go by there all the time to visit my clients and I feel badly for those people. They come out, there's a pregnant woman and she's half on the road and half, I mean, the thing is a disaster. I don't know what the state's thinking. I mean, I'm not criticizing those who got the grant or the effort they put in. I just concerned about the reality of the safety, that's all.
Commissioner Harvey, there is a Superior Court case. It was done in the town of Torrington. I forgot the year. I think I sent it to Paul. Where, because sidewalks, the Superior Court judge said the sidewalks are a town thing and not a state thing. any sidewalks along Cedar Street, in this particular case, what you're referring to, the state will put in, but the town will be responsible for maintenance on. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember the thing now, it's been a long time since I retired. I think the town can apply for a piece of special equipment to do that, under that grant. I'm not sure, but you might want to check into that.
Mhm. Yep, and I've shared that with the town engineer.
Right. Okay. Yes, Commissioner Woods.
On the sidewalk issue on Cedar Street, I mean, it's beyond just a grant. It's been out to bid.
Mhm.
There's a contract being awarded now, and construction is, DOT is looking to push the start of construction.
So I'll clarify a little, because there's actually a lot going on, which is good. So there is the actual DOT project, which was for the original part of the sidewalk. Again, that's all the way from Fenn in that area to Maple Hill. What we're talking about, the second section on that one, that when the DOT came and actually did the presentation to the town, that residents did come out from the Vincent neighborhood and did say, they have been trying for years to try to get a sidewalk connection. So again, through the state delegation and working with the DOT, they supported, and the town applied for, I believe it was a LOTSIP, if I'm correct, grant, or one of them, I could be incorrect on that one, but we were given a grant to fill out that section. So this was to connect Vincent, which was kind of an island. It had ped ramps, it kind of had us crossings, but it just wasn't connected yet. So this will at least enable them to get to the system that'll be on Cedar Street and connect to the end of Maple Hill, which will enable them to cross at Maple Hill and then go down to the fast track area.
All right.
I hope
Okay,
so.
thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, public hearings. You? Right. Yeah.
Yep. So this is petition TPZ 26-4, special permit, section 3.11.1 for a place of assembly for recreation for an indoor kids gym facility at 1581 Southeast Road in the Business Zone, B Zone. Applicant contact Philip H. Cerrone, owner, 1599 Southeast Road, LLC.
And before the owner gets into that, I will read the notice.
Yes. Sorry.
So no problem. So Newington Town Plan and Zoning Commission amended notice of public hearing, June 10th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Notice is hereby given that the Newington Town Plan and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing in the council chambers, room 103 at Town Hall, 200 Garfield Street, Newington, Connecticut on Wednesday, June 10th, 2026 to consider the following petitions. petition TPZ 26-4 special permit section 3.11.1 for a place of assembly for recreation for an indoor kids gym facility at 1581 Southeast Road in the B Business Zone. Applicant contact Philip H. Cerrone, owner 1599 SE Road LLC. Petition TPZ 26-8. Special permit for the sale of alcoholic beverages, section 6.6.2 for an existing restaurant at 2551 Berlin Turnpike in the BBT Business to Berlin Turnpike Zone. Applicant Sloppy Waffle LLC. Contact Luz Ramos, owner of 2551 Berlin Turnpike LLC. This public hearing will be a Zoom webinar hybrid meeting. Information on how to attend will be posted on the town website. Link follows. These petitions and related materials are available for public inspection at the Town Planner's Office, Town Hall, room 204, and through the published agenda at the Town Plan and Zoning Commission Agenda Center. Link follows. Persons who require an accommodation to participate in this public hearing should contact the Town Planner at 860-665-8578 or townplanner@newingtonct.gov, not less than 24 hours before the hearing. Submitted Paul Dixon, Town Planner, and it ran in the legal advertisement in the Hartford Current on May 30th and June 4th, 2026.
Good.
So
Good
back
evening.
to-
Okay.
Oh,
Am I on? Good evening, it's Philip Cerrone. I'm the architect for this project. I'm not the owner of the project. I'm not the owner of the building, but both the owner of the building and the Kid Strong representative that manages this project are both on the call with me. Can I share my screen?
I went ahead and allowed it, so you should be good to go.
Okay, this is probably the easiest way for me to discuss the project. I mean, as I stated, the project is a Kid Strong facility, which is about a 3,750 square foot facility, and they're a science-based kids training / gymnastic program facility. the facility will have a couple of studios in it, which we'll get into in a second. But to kind of give you the big picture here, this is where their facility is in the building. And you can see this is the town line, right? So we have about 1,070 square feet that are in Farmington and about 2,700 square feet almost that are in Newington. This is the swim school that I believe has been previously approved. We're not involved in these other projects, and currently the rest of this building is retail space. I know parking is part of the issue here, and we did the calculations for parking based on 1 to 300 requires 13 parking spaces for our space. We've looked at it a couple different ways. Originally, we did it at 1 to 200, which actually required even less spaces if you consider it a fitness or a gymnastics facility. So the 13 is what's required, and we provided. With the swim school and the Kid Strong on this side of the property, on the Newington side, we required a total of 38 spaces. In fact, we have 66 spaces currently on the Newington side of the property. On the Farmington side of the property, there's 58 spaces, which is what's currently required for the retail space that's over there. So as you can see, we're required based on these three uses, 96 spaces. We have 124 spaces. So in essence, we have 28 extra spaces on the site. Now, as far as Kid Strong goes itself, it's a facility that'll have 2 studios in it. They maximize 15 students per studio. And Joe's on the call, can speak a little bit more to exactly how they work, but they have 15 students maximum. They generally have about 12 in each studio at a time. And the parents, in fact, do stay with the children in each one of the studio classes. Now, the studio classes are staggered so that they don't, each class doesn't come in at the same time. There's about a 15-minute overlap between classes. So at any given time, you could have probably 24 students in the space. As far as the parents go, some parents are going to carpool, some parents are going to have 2 kids. You could have 15, 20, 24 parking cars in the lot at the time. But as I mentioned, we do have excess parking on the overall site. I mean, it's great to say this is Newington, this is Farmington, but there's not actually a line in the sand there. This is a complete total parking lot. And overall, we do have an extra 28 spaces on the site total. So without really boring you with the details, that's kind of really the project. I mean, we're here because this building is currently Barnes and Noble, except for where the swim school's been approved. It's all retail currently. We're asking for a change of use and a special permit for this section of the building, which will be considered, it's an assembly use by the building code. It's as I said, what I consider an educational gymnastics space. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions, commissioners? Commissioner Harpy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Would any of those prospective tenants change the dynamics of the parking dramatically or any degree, Paul?
Yep. So I can let the applicant answer, and if you'd like to, I can add in,
Whatever
Mr.
you
Chairman, that the town, we have actually met on site with the owner and with the town of Farmington as well. Any other changes on the site on the other side of this imaginary line in the sand? Because if you'll notice too, that most of this use, of course, the majority of the lion's share of this specific Kid Strong is in Newington, but even a portion of it is within Farmington as well. And they are likely to require their own permits for these uses. So any changes that happen on the Farmington side will be in their jurisdiction to review per their requirements as well. So yes, if there are changes other than the retail on that side, it will go by Farmington's regulations. And we'll get noticed as an abutter, just like they got noticed as an abutter on this.
I don't know if the architect would like to. Sir, would you like to make any comments?
Yeah, so I mean, we're not involved. I mean, Steve's on the call. He's the landlord for the property. I'm not involved in anything beyond the Kid Strong space, so I don't really know what's proposed on that side of the building. Steve, I don't know if you want to chime in on that. We've reached out to Farmington just to tell them that we're going through this process. We haven't got an answer back yet exactly how they want to handle it. But Steve, if you want to address what the potential uses are on the rest of the building.
I am happy to do so. Currently is one of my co-partners in the ownership of the building is Hanush Jewelers. He will be taking the front larger portion of that space. So again, he has been working with, he is a retail space, so that has not necessarily triggered any issues with Farmington zoning department. We are currently working with a couple other tenants. We do not have signed leases yet, though I know from a social media perspective, there has been some notification of a proposed Cold Stone Creamery being placed within that, about 1,200 square feet, relatively a very small square footage, but we are currently, we do not have a lease with them yet, so, it's hard to do that. However, as Paul had noted, we met there about a week and a half ago with the zoning department, and we are in talks, not talks, but just a full presentation of the full site plan, which includes a few other items, landscape, some site lighting, as well as just making sure that we check all the boxes with the zoning, with Miss Rutherford from the Farmington Zoning Department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other commissioners' questions? Mr. Woods? No, I'm good. Okay. Commissioner Minor? Commissioner Kane?
No questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay,
Commissioner Davis is also online.
sorry.
Commissioner Davis is also online.
Commissioner Davis?
Have any questions? Thank you.
Okay. What's the pleasure? What's the commission's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, if you call for public comment.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Any public comment? Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this? Please go up, state your name and
No one
address.
online has their hand raised.
Go ahead.
No one has their hand raised,
Alright.
Mr. Chairman.
Anyone wishing to speak against this?
No one has their hand raised online, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, with that, entertain a motion to close.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to close the public hearing for petition TPZ 26-4.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, we'll close, move the sole business.
I think it's already in there.
It's on new business, I believe.
Did you vote, actually?
They got to vote. Yeah, you got your first and your second.
Right, we have everything.
What?
We have a motion and a second, I believe.
We have a motion and a second to close it, move the sole business for tonight,
We just didn't vote.
Right.
so we can vote.
Yes.
Yes, you can vote.
You vote now then?
Yes.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the petition?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against it? Hearing none?
Yep. So that was for the close, and then we'll take it up on new business.
All right, we're gonna close this and we'll take it up under our old business tonight. Thank you.
Can I just
Next
ask a
one.
quick question that's just logistics? I see them on the agenda again, but I'm assuming that that's not something I'm doing a presentation on.
I can answer if you like to for Mr. Chairman. Again, since the public hearing is closed, all evidence is entered in for the actual application itself. If there are specific clarifying questions, but for the most part, there would be action following. So
Okay.
yes, your
I just want-
presentation is
That's what I
concluded.
thought. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, the second one, Gia.
Okay, so the next one is petition TPZ 26-8, special permit for the sale of alcoholic beverages, section 6.6.2 for an existing restaurant at 2551 Berlin Turnpike in the BBT Business Berlin Turnpike Zone. Applicant Sloppy Waffle LLC, contact Luz Ramos, owner 2551 Berlin Turnpike LLC.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Luz Ramos Escalante, and this is my daughter, Sophia Escalante. So we are here to continue to grow our business in the town. We've become a staple in the town of Newington. We've been here for a long, long time, and spearheaded and really pushed into this by my daughter because of the demand of the new clientele that's out there for the brunch business. We are now before you to ask that you approve our liquor permit so that we can offer mimosa and a sangria and maybe spike our coffees a little bit with some Baileys. Because I'm told that's what the young people want. And this is a very special thing for me because the last time I came before you to open my business, my daughter was 8 years old. And now she is here spearheading and kind of moving this business forward with the whole thing with social media and the whole thing and how the clientele has evolved. And so that's why we're here. I'm gonna let Sophia say a few words about why we're doing this and our goal. Go ahead, Sophia.
Well, it's just, like you said, as I've grown with this business, it's also my business as well, and I want to step into that place. And as a voice of the new younger generation of business, I just know that there is now a demand for brunch rather than your usual family dining. We love to be the family dining and the family breakfast spot that people come to, but I also want to open and enhance our business and just evolve with the time. And I know that brunch is the way to do it. I don't want to get rid of our family first policy by installing a bar. That is not what we are hoping to do. We just want to make sure that we are able to offer any and everything for our clients, basically.
Any questions, commissioners? Commissioner Fox?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and through the chairman. I've had some sloppy waffles.
Have you?
You know I have. And always enjoyed it. And I want to thank you very much. You actually just put me in the younger generation because I also like Baileys in my coffee and mimosas. Did you, just, I don't know, maybe it's just going off onto a side here. Have people, have some of your clients, your customers actually said, hey, why can't I get a mimosa?
Just this past weekend, I at least twice a week. And this has been going on years. It's
Yeah.
just that I was in school and, you know, I was on my own life path and I wasn't back home.
And the truth
now-
is, I didn't want to,
Yeah.
I was okay without.
Yeah, but a weekly basis for years, since I was in high school working, I would have to say. So this is definitely not a new idea in my head.
Well, it's an evolution of the times. It's an evolution. It's kind of a call to the customer demands and what the customers have been asking for.
Okay, now this is a restaurant permit. Can I assume that you'll not be serving customers sitting at the bar?
We don't have a bar.
Cocktails, mixed
Yeah,
drinks and things like that, because I know so far you don't have a bar.
No, we don't have.
And so, so in other words, you'll just, on your menu, you'll have your mimosas,
Correct.
Baileys with you.
Correct. Yeah, and I believe I provided in the packet just an example of it. So yeah, it's just an added menu item.
And
I
it's
just wanted
really
to get it out
specialties.
there, so.
It's gonna be specialty mimosa. We have a lot of fruity ones that can marry well with our sweet waffles.
Yeah, it's
and all
it's
that
meant
stuff.
to complement what we already have existing on our menu.
All right, thank you very much, and I see no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Gill, have any questions?
No.
Commissioner Davis?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Kane?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a nice spot. I've been there a few times. Makes sense to add mimosas and similar to the menu, so
Thank you.
looks good. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Minor, you on?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I'm also in agreement. I think it fits the current business model that they have. It would be a nice addition.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Pasquale?
No, I have no questions or comments. Sounds like a nice plan for you guys, so.
Commissioner Woods?
I'm good, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And we'll sit back and we'll see, we have general public participation, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, anyone wishing to speak in favor of this, please come up. Anybody online?
One hand is raised.
Yes.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Hi, Rose Lyons, 46 Elton Drive. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I just had to say that I think I was there when the owner first came in and proposed the sloppy waffle, and I'm so pleased to see that her daughter is going into the business with her and is taking an interest in it. It's not something that the young folks want to do these days. Restaurant business is a hard business, but thank you for staying in Newington and being such a good neighbor, and I wish you the best, and I'm sure that these people are going to let you do this because it, like your daughter says, it's something that the younger folks are looking for. And we've got all those new apartments up on the Berlin Turnpike, and I hope you get a lot of business from them. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
No one else online has their hand
No.
raised, Mr. Chairman?
Anyone wishing to speak against this motion? This petition, rather?
You're welcome to have a seat.
Okay.
No one has their hand raised,
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Hearing none?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing for petition on TPZ 26-8.
Second, it's Gia Pascarelli, second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Okay, you pass this. We'll vote on this now.
Nope, when it comes up under, I think new business.
Oh, this is okay.
Yep.
All right. Next is approval of the minutes. We have two sets of minutes, I saw.
Just keep going.
Well,
Yep, so, again, you'll have a motion on this one. The one item that I would just like to point out, when you do get to the May 13th minutes, I do have an item, page 35, that I would note to be amended. It's during the actual approved with conditions. Again, the conditions of approval were to address all comments from town staff in a letter dated May 11th, 2026. Two, to add steel reinforced guardrail as recommended by wall designer / engineer. And three, to add a 6-foot chain link fence to the rear of the retaining wall. There was just some, I think, issue with the program. It kind of came out a little differently, but so just for the record, I wanted to note those as a staff amendment to the May 13th minutes.
Okay.
And that was page 35.
page 35, okay. Any questions on commissioners? None? All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the 13 May minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now we'll accept the 27 May 2026 minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Yes.
Nope.
What's that?
She just died. Yep.
Okay. What's next? Right here, okay. Under new business. Petition, petition, 26-4.
Yep. So, A, petition TPZ 26-4, special permit, section 3.11.1 for a place of assembly for recreation for an indoor kids gym facility at 1581 Southeast Road in the B Business Zone. Applicant contact Philip H. Cerrone, owner 1599 Southeast Road LLC.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I move that we approve with conditions.
Okay,
Move to approve the special permit for the change of use to a place of assembly for recreation with the following conditions. The applicant shall obtain all applicable permits as may be required and any other conditions added by the commission, which there wasn't any, to my knowledge. A reason for approval, this application meets the requirements for the B zone and the special permit criteria within the town of Newington.
is there a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. You're all set. Okay, next one is
B.
petition B.
TPZ 26-8, special permit for the sale of alcoholic beverages, section 6.6.2 for an existing restaurant at 2551 Berlin Turnpike in the B-BT Business Berlin Turnpike Zone. Applicant Sloppy Waffle LLC. Contact Luz Ramos, owner 2551 Berlin Turnpike LLC. I can read the motion. Shall I read the motion?
Yeah.
Motion to, motion to approve special permit TPZ 26-2 for the sale of alcoholic beverages at an existing restaurant. Reason for the approval, the application meets the requirement of the special permit criteria.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
And
Good luck. Good luck. Yeah.
just for the record, I know it was read, there was just a typo on the actual page.
Oh.
It would be 26-8. So just note that for the record,
26-8, okay,
For
thank
the
you.
motion.
for the motion, yes.
Okay, 26-8.
Oh, it says
Noted.
dash two.
Right.
I mean, it's right up on top, but for the.
Yes, it just,
Yeah, oh, you gotta do it over again.
No, that was a sloppy.
We got sloppy.
Easy waffle.
What a sloppy, yeah.
Okay,
In honor of, there we go.
next petition,
C, petition TPZ 26-9, a site plan and height modification per section 4.4.3 C, where the construction of a 34-foot tall argon tank at 179 Lewis Street in the PD Plan Development Zone. Applicant contact Christopher Rhinone, owner GKN Aerospace Newington LLC.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephen Jennerts. I'm here on behalf of GKN Aerospace, as Chris could not make it to this meeting.
and Stephen, I just confirm you also have Kurt online as well. Is that correct?
Yes,
I will promote
Kurt.
him to a panelist in case you need him.
and I believe Nick Streppa as well, potentially. He may be,
Yeah, I see an iPhone 2, so that may very
might
well.
be him. Am I free to share my screen?
Yes, go ahead. Should be good to go.
Let's make sure, what was the other member who you're saying would be joining you?
Yep, Nick,
This is Nicholas Streppa. I am iPhone too. Sorry, I had trouble signing in.
Thank
no
you.
worries.
Please take it away.
All right. So, as you guys are aware or maybe unaware, we are insourcing a advanced manufacturing process from our Sweden facility. And because of that, we are requiring a steady supply of argon gas. Therefore, we have to install a tank on site in order to meet our current and future demands for manufacturing for these parts. As you can see here, we'll be one of, I guess, 3 countries, a part of our material solution sites. And Trolleton is actually the site we are insourcing our process from. So we look here, the red box is where we are proposing putting this argon tank. It is on the northern side of our 179 Lewis Street building. In the existing parking lot. Just a brief explanation of what argon is. It's a naturally occurring element, making about 1% of the air we breathe. It's a very safe gas. It's non-reactive, non-flammable inert gas, heavily used in manufacturing processes such as welding and additive for shielding the process to ensure product quality during the process. So here we have we have 5 site plan modifications within this scope, bringing this new process into Newington. We are, of course, installing the argon tank. There's an extension of a concrete ramp on the same side of the building as the tank is going. There's a slab on grade in the western side or eastern side of the building. Here, concrete pads for HVAC units on the same side, and then we are relocating a dumpster pad that is near the proposed argon tank location to near that garage door as well. But for this meeting, we are specifically looking at the height modification for a special structure, that being the argon tank. So here, we are targeting 4.3 C. So in business, industrial plan development, commercial development zones, height requirements may be exceeded by special structures requiring special designs because of their particular use in business or industry, such as chimneys, stacks, or elevators when approved by the commission. This tank will be about 34 feet high, exceeding the 15-foot limit without the height modification. Here you can see in a previous meeting on May 13th, the commission indicated consensus that the proposed installation is consistent with the intent and requirements of section 4.4.3C and aligns with the anticipated industrial uses within the planned development zone property. Here we can see we meet B, which it shall be located at the rear or side of the principal building, which it is located at the side of the building. And C, located at least 5 foot from any lot line. And we are 11 feet from the lot line. The reason for the height modification is because it does exceed 15 feet in height. So with this, GCAN Aerospace is seeking approval of a special structure. Oh, excuse me. Too many pop-ups. To allow the installation of the special structure approximately 34 feet in height, exceeding the standard 15-foot accessory structure height limit. Here we can kind of get a layout again where we are proposing that the tank is located. To start, the top of the tank is roughly the same height as the existing building that is being placed next to. We're putting it on an existing parking lot, or I guess paved area. So there's no new impervious surfaces that we have, or impervious surfaces that we have to install in order to get the tank up. There's a natural facade with all the trees and existing buildings around the tank that will obscure the view from the streets. And there is a similar structure at 261 Pascone Place. They have another tank, vertical tank at that location. So here, like I mentioned, the tank is 34 feet high. And the building, with the lower elevation that the tank will be placed on and the building height, we're only about 1.5 feet taller than the existing building. That's already there. Here you can see this is a 3D model of the proposed new space. With the tank location, it's 11 feet from the boundary and 81 feet from the building. This tank does not encroach the setback on that side. And then you can also see some of our other site plan modifications that I mentioned, like the building addition here at the bottom of your screen and the pad for the HVAC units there, as well as the ramp that is extending outside of the building. And like I mentioned before, there is an existing tank at our neighbor building at 261 Pascone Place. And this is the street view of that tank. Now, there were other considerations when looking into the way that this tank will be laid out, either in a horizontal orientation or a vertical orientation. GCAN also uses this lot as a staging area for parts and storage area for some of those parts. So any space we can save in that location is preferred. And the reason being, if we do extend these spaces, our parts can get up to 12 feet in diameter. And with the forklifts that are used to maneuver them, it's over 26 feet. And so space is at a premium here, but this also impacts the safety of that area, moving in and out of this area with loading parts, staging them, pedestrian traffic when getting to these parts. So any space that we do restrict, there's more risk of an incident maybe occurring. So the vertical tank is not only a preference in saving space, but also a safety measure that we would prefer to keep intact. There also was an alternate location on the other side of the building that we looked into. But we decided that because we would have to lay another concrete pad for the argon, taking away green space and potentially impacting drainage in that area, as well as the complexity and cost it would take to run the argon piping all the way from that side of the building. We believe that it is a better option to put it where we initially proposed. So in conclusion, argon's a naturally occurring element that's in the air we breathe. It's non-reactive, non-flammable. And it's essential to specialized manufacturing processes when it comes to additive manufacturing and welding. For the configuration of the proposed vertical argon tank and selected location represents the optimal solution, balancing operational efficiency, safety, and environmental considerations, as well as our own site constraints. And again, GCAN Aerospace is seeking approval of a special structure to allow the installation of a special structure approximately 34 feet in height, exceeding the standard 15-foot accessory structure height limit. Any questions?
Any questions of the commission? Commissioner Harpy.
I think this is a very well thought out process. I did have an opportunity a while ago to visit your facility. And I know you were looking at it at that time. So I know you guys have put a lot of work into this. My only question would be, the differential in the height is really the placement of the tank. Is that correct? Going off the horizontal concept onto the vertical?
Is why we need the height modification?
Right.
Correct.
I might, Mr. Chairman. Paul, you're fine with that in terms of the?
Yes, so this is the one where, again, looking at it, I've actually spoken with both, yeah, because this is argon, so that is an inert gas. I do have a couple recommended conditions that actually I should probably say out loud to make that the applicant is okay with, but yes, we are okay with that. I also said spoke with the fire marshal and the fire chief, so they're aware about the actual tank itself. We talked about other tanks in the town as well. You know, this is not when past approvals, the closest thing we have is, again, the soda service has their tank there. Again, something, or, you know, Saputo has tanks as well. Saputo's tanks were improved as part of the overall site plan. This just happens to be after it. If they were coming in and building a new facility, this would have all been wrapped into one type of plan. So we're okay with the height where it works. It does have some screening around it. The one area, the two things that, again, the commission can choose to adopt these or not. Recommended conditions are any future modifications to the height and or location of the tank shall require an application to the planning commission. And then two, any future modification to the contents, inert gas, shall require an application to the planning commission. Because again, it is a larger tank located close to the property line. That's the reason why we recommended those. I don't know if the applicant has, again, it's not saying they're prohibited at all from changing anything, but they would just have to come back just because the size of the tank and the proximity to the property line.
And I know that this is a competitive city for them as well in the industry. They have to be able to do this as part of the application process and the rest that you go through. And I think we can all agree this is a great company. This is Pratt Whitney, Warwick and G and others. They have facilities and other location here and in Europe as well. And we're very fortunate to have them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Fox, any questions?
No questions, but I'll echo Commissioner Harpy's comments about the company and the need for the.
Commissioner Gill?
Are there any issues as far as refilling the tank?
What do you mean by that?
Well, what type of delivery system is there? Or what size truck and trailer?
I believe the trailer with the tank, it's a 4,000 gallon tank. That truck and trailer would come in and they would pipe it into the argon tank or into our proposed tank.
Okay.
If that, yeah.
Good.
All set?
Yep.
Commissioner Pascarelli?
No questions.
Commissioner, Minor? Any questions?
Questions, second, Mr. Chair.
You all set?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner, Kane?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Rice Davis?
No questions, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Woods?
Almost so.
Okay. See, anybody for the public wishes to speak in favor?
This one's not a public hearing.
No public hearing.
No public
Yep,
hearing.
and the
that's
one
right.
thing,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I just
Okay.
want to make sure that the applicant is okay with those conditions.
Yeah, that we have
stated.
to return, if we make any changes to the gas or the tank itself.
Yep, tank height, size, location, or the contents of the tank.
Yeah, I don't think there's an issue there.
Okay, call for vote.
All right, it would be, you need the motion.
Yes.
Call for the motion. Yep.
Yes, good.
Okay. Petition TPZ 26-9, a site plan and height modification per section 4.4.3C for the construction of a 34-foot tall argon tank at 179 Lewis Street in the PD Plan Development Zone. Applicant contact Christopher Raynone, owner GKN Aerospace Newington LLC. Motion to approve with conditions. Motion to approve the site plan and height modification for the 34-foot tall argon tank with the following conditions. Any future modifications to the height or location of the tank shall require an application to the Planning Commission. Any future modifications to the contents, inert gas, shall require an application to the Planning Commission. Reason for approval: this application meets the requirements of the special structure height pursuant to section 4.4.3C of the Newington zoning regulations.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. Okay. Old business. Paul?
All right, so we have the regulation amendment. I did pass something out earlier to you. So you should have this in front of you. For those of you at home, I did also send out an email as well. Just specifically highlight the only difference of this and what's we was sent to you in the packet is we tightened up section 5.5.14 for alternate compliance. So what I'm gonna do is, and before we kind of get into that, you can take a look, but just to let you know, from what was sent in your packet had a couple of things modified from our last meeting that we discussed. So section 5.5.3E, which kind of talked about how a regulation was going to be handled when you have an existing commercial use and the summary review. It was clarified to make sure that it was understood that the summary review is for the 2 to 9 units, but any commercial use, say a restaurant, an auto, whatever type of use, it could be like a retail establishment that is like an auto parts store or something. Again, don't consider those two always will go together or anything, but anything that would be a regular permit or a special permit would have to follow those requirements. So therefore, summary review wouldn't be a backdoor way to add a special permit use. So that's clarified 5.5.3 clearly. We incorporated language to codify the applicable review by the town engineer and the fire chief, fire marshal, so that's in there as well. We adjusted the current text, so all applications go in front of the TPZ. This was one of the items where we discussed where as these come in, we will see how they go, and if the TPZ feels comfortable with them, then it could be rewritten for a certain amount of administrative approval. We incorporated evergreen conifers to be specific for the border. And then we incorporated improved graphics. And the last item is the 5.5.14 that's in front of you right here. That was not in the regulation that was given to you. So really the only changes in this is before, I'm going to share it on the screen so people can follow along, is before it said one or more of these type of conditions, you could get this, the alternative compliance. Now, this is something where I think was kind of debatable whether the commission really wanted this or not. It's not something that's required, of course, by the regulations. This is just an additional concept if you wish to go this direction. You can choose if you like to. I can strike this from the regulations as well. So what this does, instead of having one or more of these, it specifically says, providing the following criteria have been met if applicable. So the following criteria, so incorporates all of them. Again, subject property contains, a pre-existing building built prior to the effective date of the regulations. The application will provide at least one deed restricted affordable unit, which complies with requirements of CGS 830G. The requested deviation is consistent with all relevant purposes and intended statements of these zoning regulations and with the general purpose and intent of plan of conservation development. The application as proposed will not have substantial or undue adverse effect upon adjacent property or the public health, safety, general welfare. And then a specific one that talks again about the roof. And then another that talks specifically to the required location of on-street parking and the relief of the plan. So it would require all of those. So the key consideration that is, this would require an affordable unit. That if you do not meet that by the letter of it, but you meet the spirit of it, that minor modifications could be met subject to these by special permit. So again, it takes it out of the summary review. I have asked the town attorney to specifically review this section. And to get back to me, he said he plans to have it before the hearing. And also we plan to have CROG's review as well prior to the hearing. So I'm just kind of going to give you an update of where we're at. If this section looks okay to you, I will update it. And we've already filed the meeting notice for the special meeting, but I plan to update it with these regulations if you would like me to do this with the alternative compliance, or if the commission would like me to strike it. Again, we're going to be moving into the hearing phase. So I'm happy to hear from you now if you have any comments on these regulations, anything to change, and what you think specifically about this section.
Yeah, any Commissioner comments, Commissioner Erpe?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Paul, as far as the legal review, I don't know how to phrase this. I'll just say it. Does the legal staff looking at it have land use experience?
Yes, yeah, again, it's through our town attorney, and again, through our town attorney firm, there are multiple town attorneys with land use. And I have, again, sent the specific language of this to them, along with the entirety of the regulations and kind of the concepts. And one item I'll note too, this kind of came up during, and again, I don't want to throw curveballs in the process as we go, but I do want to bring it to your attention. And I believe Commissioner Kane was there as well when I did attend the Regional Planning Commission. And they kind of did some highlights about how other communities are addressing things. One area that was interesting is some communities have kind of taken the or language when it comes to the 2 to 9 units or mixed use. We currently don't have that. Many of the interpretations of the or is you allow both of them. That's another thing I've asked the town attorney to look into as well. But some communities are going with the or. Again, as we know, when we have new state statutes, they're untested. So it's ultimately going to be OLR guidance in the long run, and then court cases that test out regulations. So whether you think that's significant to look into it or not, we do have very specific requirements in here. And as noted, the public hearing is planned to open next Wednesday. You do not have to close the public hearing. Again, it would be good to have these before July 1st, but if you don't and you need the time to work on it, you need the time to work on it. This is a public deliberative process.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Fox?
I'm set, thank you.
Commissioner Gill?
All set.
Commissioner Kane?
No comments or questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Commissioner Davis?
All set right now. Thank you.
Commissioner Minor?
comments.
I can't hear him, but he's here.
I'm only there. Just want to make sure.
We couldn't hear Commissioner Minor.
Yeah, I think he's getting his garble up a little. Are you okay, Chris? Or Commissioner Minor?
Cell phone's not working, right?
Yeah, I think there's a bad connection.
His
but-
audio's
Commissioner Pascarelli?
flashing in and out.
Can I ask a question about another part of your
Absolutely.
proposed
Okay.
regulations? I tried to do a little research online about the Conservation and Traffic Mitigation District.
Mhm.
So I understand that we talked about this, I understand the traffic mitigation part, but the word conservation is, it's there. And I know that this is a zone that we're creating by putting it in here, but we're not designating where the zone's gonna be.
Correct. So.
So we can have up to 2 zones, and there's a certain percentage of the total
Yep.
land area that you can pull into those zones,
Yes.
and not more than that.
So staff has started some analysis on the back end that we'd be happy to start incorporating regulation if the commission says we're okay with this wording, we're okay with this, and we'll just kind of start that process and look at it. Again, there's the easy way of just saying Berlin Turnpike, create 2 districts that kind of go with each other and say that's for now and come back and change it later. If you want to consider other areas, the thing about the 2 districts is interesting because and actually I encourage everyone to look online as well too. And part of the agenda as well has the ArcGIS story map that the IT department as well as our department work together to kind of create. And that has what districts are actually being affected. Actually, it's really good looking document. So let me put that up for you.
Yeah.
And when you consider these districts, it's really going to be about, we can only have 2. So we have either the Berlin Turnpike and we have very separate commercial districts that are kind of scattered throughout the town. So if you wanted to pick one of the other ones, like a New Britain Avenue, New Britain Avenue, you'd have to pick that and another portion of the Berlin Turnpike, but you couldn't,
But
you'd have 1 acre here, or you could have like a half an acre here.
Is there no aspect to conservation here?
No,
Are we-
it's the same issue.
Why is that word there?
It's a good question. It's the
That's-
same as
that's
in
the
when
state.
you have transit middle housing that actually has nothing to do with transit. That's something that's been brought up. It's the term, the term and phrase that they were using. The conservation, again, is more along the lines of, it's not a conservation. It's more along the lines of, I don't know their
I
true
mean-
purpose, but it is mitigation for traffic, requiring the use, requiring the minimums. Again, we can only require 1 or 2, depending on the size of the unit. Again, 2
I
bedroom
mean-
and above.
We might want to look at the whole center of town for that matter. Because, well, I mean, we don't want to just pick.
Right.
Without the analysis you're going to provide, right?
Mhm.
Because just to pick 2 zones
Yeah.
and then go back later, we're.
So
what,
again,
we-
whether this is the online one, again, it's gonna be small for everyone looking along on the screen, but I encourage you, it's on the agenda. It's up on our news flash. Again, you can see the business, town center zone that we're talking about. You then go to the business Berlin Turnpike zone, which is a significant portion of town. And eventually you'll see the final map will have all of these on there. The planned development, which is the rest of the Berlin Turnpike plus additional areas of town. Our commercial development, which is smaller, we only have a few parcels really that are CD. And together, this is what we're talking about. So if we were to deliberately, we can have 2 zones. So 2 zones in our initial look could probably cover the majority of the Berlin Turnpike. For the total of the 8 acres for the 4 being 4 each can be contiguous. But if we choose another area, then we'll have to very carefully choose on the turnpike where we would want to consider this. Again, my thoughts towards this type of district is it's in an area where there is no walkability, where if you do build housing without parking, the reality of a developer building housing without parking in an area that you can't get anywhere is low. Nothing is impossible. I would never count anything out, but it's low. But in an area where you are car dependent, that would be my biggest concern, to make sure that it's thoughtfully included, that you wouldn't have someone who's basically in an island on the Berlin Turnpike and can't get anywhere with no sidewalks and no connectivity. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. If this is something, again, we're working on this now. If the commission wants staff to start bringing that forward, we can do that as well.
This is, well, I got a quick question now. This is all private property. It's not town property.
Yes, it's all private property and whatever town property in the zone. Again, this is one of those things where it's in the zone if we happen to own something in
Yeah,
the
if we
commercial
own
zone, but
the-
nothing compels us to develop anything on our property.
We could have a parcel of land within one of these districts or both.
Yeah, well, like for example, Town Center, we have the parking lot that's within the district. But yeah, there's no plan for the town to develop.
And when will this map be available and finished?
So this is the overall talking about the districts that are available. So if you would like us to start working on the conservation and traffic mitigation district and bring it in front of you, we can do so. Probably, and that's the question. Do you want to do it while you're doing this and holding the hearings, or do you want to do it after? Because this gives you the enabling language.
Right.
It'll be in place, and then you're just adopting a map associated with it.
So in other words, there's no timeline on that part.
No, it's pretty much effective to use as you choose to use it, but until an area designated, everything goes by you can't require anything for 16 and under. So that's part of the regulations in here where, the word should is used. A lot of communities do that. That's actually something that was pointed out in the Regional Planning Commission as well. That's kind of one of those approaches. But ultimately, if it's 16 units or less, we cannot require parking per this statute. So this will be the choose carefully where those traffic mitigation districts are, because that's the area where you can. It enables you to require the parking minimums. So where is that most important for the town is going to be the question.
Charlie has his hand raised.
Yep, and actually Charlie would like to add something, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, Paul. Just to provide a little bit of reassurance on the conservation and traffic mitigation districts, myself and the GIS tech, Monique, have looked at it a little bit and run a little bit of an analysis just preemptively. Essentially, what we did was look at areas in the town. We looked to analyze accessibility to crosswalks, proximity to points of interest, so proximity to schools, large employment hubs, access to bus routes, things of that nature, and sort of use that in the GIS format to visualize areas that would be negatively impacted by not providing enough parking. And so we have a couple of different maps that we can present to you guys that would kind of show us those areas. And we're able to really quickly plug in some data to kind of determine where we could fit those zones and where we could get the total of that 8% without exceeding too much in the districts or with having them contiguous. So just want to provide a little reassurance that I have started looking at that a little bit. So if that was something of interest, I have a little bit of data that I could provide right now.
Yeah.
So we'd be happy, we can send that out. We can actually, even before we do, we can send it out just information for the commission and just put it out there. Again, it's a working item. This is all your kind of working items as we go forward, separate from this specific hearing, because it will need its own hearing, its own advertisement. But this is just kind of information and working on it before it becomes an actual application.
Commissioner Woods, do you have any questions?
No question, just a comment. Again, I think you've done a good job tightening this up, and I'm looking forward actually to June 10th to see how many of the public come out and, what their response is to it. And then we'll have a better idea from there.
I think you've done an excellent job on this, Paul, considering we really didn't have a pathway to follow. So I'm looking forward to getting the final product and getting this forward to CROG. Just a quick question. Do you know if maybe Jake can answer this? Do you know how the other towns are coming along with this?
It's a mix. From what I've heard initially from CROG 2, we're kind of in that path that's in it right now. There are several towns who do have something. There are many towns who have nothing right now, and they're still working on it. There are some towns who have just worked on the parking aspect of it and then are getting to the middle housing. Then there's some towns who are just doing the middle housing and haven't worked on the parking section to it yet. So it is a patchwork across the state is kind of how I would say, or at least across the region. It's because every planning department is differently staffed and has different available resources. And that's kind of the struggle that a lot of people have had. But no, I think I would recommend anyone who wants to go view that recording of the Regional Planning Commission. And they do have kind of a quick overview on that. You can kind of skip forward and find that spot and look for them discussing what they're seeing around there. That would actually be a good idea because they could give you like a direct comment to kind of answer that.
And Commissioner Kane has his hand raised.
I'm sorry?
Commissioner Kane has his
Yes,
hand raised.
Commissioner Kane.
I would just second what Paul said about the other towns and their progress on this. From what I heard in the RPC meeting, it was like Paul said, some people hadn't even really looked at it yet, it sounded like, and then some people are pretty far along. So it seems like we are in a much better spot than most of the other towns. And, you know, obviously I'd credit that to our staff here. So thank you to our staff for, you know, you're making our whole commission look good by getting ahead of this. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Harpy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Does the CROG initial report go to OPM?
So on this one,
OPM dig into this.
yeah, so on this one, so this is the regional, the referral, the municipal referral. So we'll get our CROG back on that one. It doesn't go to OPM. What will be, that'll be the next step in this public act process for the housing growth plan, which we'll get to. It's not until, you know, there's time on that as well, but every community should be aware of it. I did a presentation a little while ago to the council as well. And once we get closer, I'd actually say even on the housing growth plan, not to get too far off this topic, but there's a working group in CROG as well that they've been putting together that actually all the town planners pretty much of the region came together and met at. And that was, you know, through CROG and SN, Savannah Nicole is really spearheading that as part of it with Caitlin Palmer. As well to kind of bring this together. So that's going to be a group that continuously gets together of planners through the region and kind of get that information to the commission. It's in the interims part right now. It's us providing a lot of comments. It's them getting information from us, what we need, what we're looking for. So I think that's going to be important for staff and for everyone to keep going to that and kind of making sure we're engaged. So when those numbers come out, it should not be a surprise to us. We need to know them.
So what OPM would just see the finished product?
Yep, so on this, OPM doesn't see, this is not one of the ones where OPM has to review our regulations for this. These are ours, you know, OPM will get involved, or should I say, you know, that'll get more involved than larger, you know, plans.
Don't they get the
Thank you,
mitigation map?
Mr. Chair.
So yeah, likely the conservation and traffic mitigation map is an interesting one where there isn't actually a clear path of exactly how it gets amended. Like you have to send it to OPM. That's the one specific one. It doesn't necessarily, their approval process, how you do it. So our, you know, my plan on that one would be you guys adopt a zone, we send it to OPM, and if they object, they object. If they don't, it stays.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, and I just want to ask, just make sure, so it sounds like you do want me to, and I'll keep tightening up, make sure the and ors are all good, to keep that alternative compliance in for now, and then hear what the public has to say about it. Is that correct?
That's our plan.
Cameron, I
Okay.
have one more,
Sure.
if it's okay. Because we moved open space to the list of zones here, and in our existing regulations, it's kind of off, it's separate. Will we at some point need to rewrite the definition of open space for the regs, or are we just gonna leave the way it is in our regs?
My plan right now is just, again, this is, when we look through, that was one of those, okay, I'm adding something to this district. What do I need to add in? That's kind of was an oversight before not to add it. The open space zone is a zone in the regulations. The plan right now would not to be changed that. And I think that's going to be a good discussion at the open space commission. And to think about the open space zone, I know we've had discussions about this. And then kind of getting leave it even far afield on that one, but kind of the plan, we're looking ahead to the next plan of conservation and development and looking at the commissions who have some type of responsibility towards it in a section. Open space is specific, economic development is specific. We've been talking, the EDC actually, I believe at the last meeting, brought forward the kind of the action items that the EDC is involved in. I think the same thing for open space. I think looking at this zone and providing any recommendations to this commission for any changes to it would be the direction that that goes into. Whether it's adding parcels, revising parcels, that would be the time to either look at the definition if it needs to change, and especially look at the zoning map and say, okay, the town's acquired these other new parcels. Like for example, the parcel across from Culver Street. That was part of it where that could be added to the zone, just to kind of codify it. So I think that'll be a open space process, but this right now is just to codify it, put it on there. It was kind of just to clarify to make sure it's in the zones.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, Paul, thank you for your explanation.
All right, so I will file this and you'll be getting your notice tomorrow about the meeting again next week, next Wednesday. It has been filed, but I'll amend it with these amended ones and get it going.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Petitions for scheduling?
None.
Or
did we get?
We are aware that the prior pre-application for the rezone of that parcel on Carr Avenue will be getting probably coming in this week.
Okay.
But we will schedule that accordingly.
That's one where you at the very end.
Yes.
Yes, they want to do the rezone.
Okay, you pretty much gave us your update on your planners report, Paul?
No, I have the other ones, and the one thing I was gonna share, I can get into here, just a couple photos. I went out. All right, let's bring this out. So I wanted to kind of bring people, because I've been talking about it here or there, just to show you what's going on at Culver. The process. What is up on the screen? Content menu. Okay, good. All right, so this is the building one that was shown earlier. I guess everyone knows, actually technically it's building two. The first building constructed was building two. So as you can see, one building is closed in. I've seen actually kitchen and bath stuff being worked on. So I think this building is getting awfully close to being ready. Second item, and this is kind of where you get in between, building one is on the right. Dead ahead of you, that tree line is actually the tree line between Lowe's and this property, to give you a context of where you're kind of at. So this is looking towards that. You have building one on the right, where you see is progressing, but not to the same level. It's not enclosed yet. We're basically shell at this point. And again, that's building one in progress. But again, good progress. One building almost done. This building's going to follow that. You have the clubhouse. The clubhouse again is shell with roof. So that will probably be completed pretty close. I think they'll move quickly on that one around the time of getting building one ready.
Sure, lacked is its leasing office once they get a building open. So
yep, so they'll kind of want to have that in place. The same thing where you can see that in place, and the other two, three buildings on site. The other three buildings on site are kind of in different stages. One right now only has the excavation for the foundation for the footing. This one has the footing poured, and they're working on the foundation walls. And then the other one closest to the clubhouse on this side has its foundation walls poured, slab poured, with all the utilities in place. So this framing will be starting on this building soon as well. So it's just kind of give you an update of progress on the site. We have one building near completion, one building getting there, and then I think this will be the next building where you start to see the framing coming up. So that is Culver Street.
Thank you, Paul. Any questions? Commissioner
Does
Hartley?
this developer have any plans at all to ever fix the town road?
Yes.
Damage that he's done?
Yep, so the developer is working with the town's engineering department as well, and working on that solution for that road to get it repaved.
Can you find out what the call date from MDC is on the agreement that they have with us, this guy, whatever the developer's name is? And the residents essentially are very concerned, and I understand that MDC has a call date on when that has to be corrected.
I will check on that.
If you could, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Usually typically they let their trenches sit for 6 months to a year for settlement before they do that final course of permanent pavement. But
Usually a year.
I'm just talking about the patching. This guy's struggling to correct the patching, which is a roller coaster ride.
Yep, I'll talk with the town engineer.
Good luck to you.
All set, Commissioner Murphy? Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Fox, any questions?
No question.
Commissioner Gill? All right. Commissioner Minor? Commissioner Davis?
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Kane?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Pascarelli?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Woods? I'm good. All right, we're all set, Paul.
All right, I think we have the
Yep, sir.
CROG letters.
Oh,
If
yeah.
there's any questions on those? If not, again, as you said, if you ever have any questions, let me know. If you ever see anything interesting, I will reach out to Jacob and get the copy of it for you.
I have in the past, before you got here,
Yep.
when Greg Minor was here, I would call up Frog to get,
Yep, they're there as our resource. Again, that's why we get these,
Jacob
to see
was
what's
there
going
at
on.
that time. Okay, second round of public participation.
Neil Draco, 21 Isabel Terrace. I just have a question, and I don't think I'm imagining this, but the discussion about possible housing on the Berlin Turnpike with this, in the commercial zone. Wasn't there a grant a few years ago with the three towns, Weathersfield, Newington, and Berlin, to make the Berlin Turnpike walker-friendly, biker-friendly? Whatever happened to that? Because it seems it may or may not be tied in.
So I can answer that one, that grant is still under, the official word is it's still under review. And
the
that's
federal
the
level.
raise grant. So again, it's still under review at the federal level. No information that's happening on that one, but yes, that was a grant. That was the future of the Berlin Turnpike grant that I was very interested in. I think we all were. It's Weathersfield, Berlin, Newington, CROG, and the DOT all together in one force wanting to work together to solve a problem. So it's unfortunate that it's still under review and hasn't moved forward. But that's one of the biggest forces I've seen of everyone getting together and going, we need to look at this. So hopefully something can happen, whether it's this or whether in the near long term another opportunity becomes available. But I think all of the partners really do want to see something resolved and know what we can do with the future of that. Because we've all seen people walking.
Right, if there's gonna be housing potential. Okay, thank you.
Did it also include Meriden?
No, that one did not go as south. Yeah, I think there was talks about it as well too. I don't believe that they were in the final agreement on that one too. I believe it was the three towns had their small share, and then again, the DOT was actually willing to kick in, and CROG was willing to kick in for the share. So everyone actually had an actual stake in the grant.
Thank you.
We're still very interested in it as well. I am Kara, who is leading that. I'm still in her ear about it, but yeah, the feds are just holding it up. Just a quick handout, please. Forgive me. This is based off of the older version. So there's a few things that are incorrect.
Please state your, Jacob.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Jacob Knowlton, 10 Hillside Street. This is for the SSPA 25-1 regs that we're going over. It's just part of your form-based code. Like I said, this is kind of from the old version. Paul recently just sent me the updated, so some of this is a little different. The white building on the top left is still existing in your regs. The yellow building is no longer in there. And then the right underneath the white building on the bottom left is now in your regs. And so the request to be added for that building, you can just take it as I'm supporting that being in there. This is really not a hill that I'm gonna die on. I just was like, why not strive for perfection while we can? I would just recommend adding this blue building to the regs, and if possible, replacing it with the white building with the garages. It's just a personal architectural pet peeve of mine to have a garage as a majority of your facade for a building. I don't know why we started doing that as the United States, but we used to put our stables in the back, and that's how we used to build, and that's how you get those charming scenic streetscapes. And so as much as we possibly can, we should be advocating, especially when we're coming up with the pictures for the regs, that our streetscapes should be for the homes, for the people, and then all of that maintenance and your cars and stuff should be to the back when possible. Obviously, that's not possible for all properties, and I'll respect it when that's the case, but at least for our regs that are supposed to be top notch, why not strive for that perfection? So that's all I wanted to talk about here. Just speaking to you, Gia, for the the conservation, yada, yada,
Conservation and
yada.
Traffic Mitigation
Thank you.
District, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, they really named these things whatever word vomit they thought would be best, which is extremely frustrating when I'm trying to communicate these things. The one thing I will say though is why I kind of shook my head at the town center being considered for this. Obviously consider everything, right? But it is my personal understanding that this is for the areas that are going to have higher trip generation. So in the town center, it's a little bit of a, I don't know if that would, I think that would be a little bit of a waste if you're going to use it, just because you have family and friends who can walk to the houses that are going to be put there versus a house on the Berlin Turnpike. Everyone and anyone is going to have to drive there. So you're going to need more spaces there versus in the center of town. And I think that's pretty much all I had. I had one more thing related to CROG and it's slipping my mind, but that's okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jacob. Any questions? Okay.
No one else has their hand
Anyone else
raised
is
online.
Okay, thank you. Closing remarks by commissioners? Hearing none. Commissioner Harvey?
We can do this at another time, but can you get us a status update on the Myra Cone Gallagher?
Oh, the Spark, the Callahan, the Spark? Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank
Okay. Any other questions?
Commissioner Kane has his hand raised.
Yes,
so-
Commissioner Kane.
And so does Ms. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say I agree with Jacob on the what he said about the garages. Obviously, I don't have the handout. I think Jacob and I probably watched the same YouTube video about garages and stables. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, nobody else?
Commissioner Davis.
Commissioner Davis.
Hi, I don't know if it's like a tech thing. I know that when somebody was presenting, we couldn't see the screen when they were presenting in person. So I don't know if that's possible to connect so people who are both the commissioners and the public can view the screen when the person in person is presenting. That would be great, but if it's not doable, then I understand.
Yep, it should have. I'll review the meeting just to make sure. And I just want to be clarified, was that during GKN or who was that during?
Or the Jim.
No, it was GKN,
Okay.
I believe, yes. Because I could see the gym, because they were
Okay.
sharing screen. I could see that,
Yep.
yeah.
You could see it up here.
Yeah, we could see GKN up here, so I will make sure, because he definitely was logged in. But yep, I will definitely check on that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Commissioner Kane.
I
Commissioner
could,
Kane?
I could see GKN's PowerPoint while they were presenting. So
Oh, then maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just me. That's weird.
I thought, yeah.
That's fine.
Presenter view.
We'll still take a look.
All right, any other commissioner comments? Hearing none. Thank you for attending. Have a great night, everybody. It's warm out there, so let's get home early. Thank you. Motion to adjourn. I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.